She said it at the dinner table. My mother's hospice bed was 15 feet away. My brother was carving the turkey. She was smiling. I'm pregnant by your brother. Deal with it. Christmas Eve. 12 place settings. My mother's empty chair at the head. She was too weak to sit with us anymore. The good china, the one with the gold rim. Her grandmother's, candles burning low. My aunt was passing the cranberry sauce. My cousin was laughing at something. Normal. Everything was normal. Until it wasn't. Rebecca said it like she was commenting on the weather. Light. Casual. My brother Marcus looked up from the turkey, knife still in his hand. He didn't look surprised. He looked relieved. I heard the words. They didn't make sense. She was smiling. How do you smile when you detonate a life? My hands were on the table, steady. That scared me more than shaking would have. The room had gone quiet. Aunt Linda's fork clattered against her plate. Someone's wine glass tipped, red spreading across white linen. No one moved to stop it. Daniel, Rebecca's voice, still light. Did you hear me? I heard her. Everyone heard her. From the bedroom 15 feet away, my mother's bell rang 3 times, sharp, deliberate. The signal we'd agreed on, come now. If you've ever had to choose silence over screaming because someone you love was listening, you understand what happened next. I stood, my chair scraped. I walked past Rebecca, past Marcus with his knife, past 7 faces frozen in shock. I walked to my mother's room. I closed the door. Helen was propped on pillows, oxygen cannula hissing softly in her nose. Her eyes were open, sharp, dying but lucid. She'd heard everything. Danny. Her voice was thin, like tissue paper, but her hand reached for mine. Sit. I sat. The hospice bed creaked under my weight on the edge. Her hand was cold, so cold, but her grip was firm. I know, she whispered. I've known for months. The room tilted. What? The desk, she said. Her breathing was labored. Each word cost her. Top drawer, red envelope. I've been documenting. Mom, listen. She squeezed my hand. Her wedding band pressed into my palm. 40 years of marriage reduced to a thin gold circle. You don't owe anyone your name. Not him, not her, not that baby. Mom, please. She was already pulling the ring off, twisting it over her knuckle. Her hands shook. I tried to help. She slapped my hand away. Let me. She got it off, placed it in my palm, closed my fingers around it. You don't owe anyone your name. The gold was warm from her skin. The engraving inside H+R 1984 always. The A worn smooth from decades. She reached for something on the nightstand, her leather journal, the one she wrote in every day, even now, especially now. Her handwriting had gotten smaller as she got sicker, shakier, but still legible. She wrote 4 words, her hand trembling with effort. The desk, top drawer. I looked at the page, then at her. What's in there? Everything you need. She leaned back, exhausted. The oxygen hissed. Go back out there, be calm. Let them think. Let them think you're weak. I'm not... I know. She smiled, tired, sad, proud. That's why you'll win. I wanted to stay, to hold her hand, to tell her I loved her, but she pointed to the door. Go, make me proud. I stood. The journal was still in her hand. I reached for it. She pulled it back. Not yet. After she was gone. The word hung between us. I put a ring on a chain around my neck. It rested against my chest, still warm. I walked back to the dining room. Everyone was exactly where I'd left them, frozen. The wine stain had spread. No one had cleaned it up. Rebecca was standing now, arms crossed, defiant. Marcus had put the knife down. He looked at me. Daniel, let's talk about this. We can... No. My voice was calm, flat. I picked up my phone from the table, opened the recording app, pressed start. The timestamp appeared December 24th, 8:47 p.m. We don't need to talk. Rebecca's smile faltered, just a crack. That's it? That's all you're going to say? I looked at her, really looked at her. 7 years of marriage, I'd loved this woman. I'd planned a life with her. I'd trusted her. Noted. One word, said like I was confirming a meeting time, like she'd told me dinner was ready, like it meant nothing, but it meant everything. Rebecca's face went red. Noted, that's all? You're just going to... I said what I said. I picked up my wine glass, her lipstick stain on the rim, red, like the wine on the tablecloth. I photographed it. Click. Noted. Marcus stood. Daniel, be reasonable. I am being reasonable. I turned to face the room. 7 witnesses, all watching, all silent. Everyone heard it. My wife is pregnant by my brother. She announced it at Christmas Eve dinner. While our mother is dying 15 feet away, I'm simply acknowledging the information. Aunt Linda started crying, soft, quiet. My cousin Jenny got up and left. Footsteps on the stairs, a door slamming. I looked at Marcus. He was sweating. Good. Family should support family, he said. We can figure this out. We can... Family, I repeated. I let the word hang there. Right. I walked to the bathroom. The pregnancy test was still on the counter where Rebecca had left it 2 months ago. November 2nd, 6:47 a.m. I'd photographed it then too, time-stamped, documented. I'd known something was wrong even before I knew what it was. 2 pink lines, clear as day. I went to my mother's office. The desk was old oak, heavy. The top drawer was locked. The key was in the pencil cup. Helen was organized, even in dying. I opened the drawer. Manila envelope, thick, bulging, red pen on the front. For Daniel, December only. My hands were shaking now. I opened it. 8 months of evidence spilled onto the desk. Hotel receipts, March through November, the Riverside Inn, the Carlton downtown, the Budget Lodge on Route 7, 9 different locations, dates and times. Rebecca's name on the guest registry, photographed. Marcus's car in the parking lots, license plate visible, time-stamped, restaurant receipts, dinners for 2. The Italian place I'd wanted to take Rebecca to for our anniversary. She'd said it was too expensive. Apparently not for Marcus. Photos, taken from a distance, long lens. My mother had been following them while dying, while I was at work, while I was bringing her medications and helping her to the bathroom and making her soup. She'd been documenting my betrayal, a timeline, written in her shaky handwriting, getting smaller, more cramped. As the cancer spread, as she weakened. March 12th, confirmed, saw them at hotel. April 3rd, dinner, they didn't see me. May 18th, Rebecca lied about book club, was with Marcus. June 22nd, his apartment, she stayed 4 hours. The entries went on, page after page. Evidence stacked on evidence, methodical, thorough, furious. The last page was dated today, December 24th. I waited to be sure about the baby. Timing is wrong for Daniel. 8 months of affair. Baby due in 9 weeks. Marcus is the father. I'm sorry I can't stay to help you fight. Love is action. You'll know what to do. Below that, in different ink, newer, shakier. P.S. Call Patricia on the 26th. She knows the rest. I sat there. My mother's desk. Her evidence, her love, her protection. She'd known. For 8 months she'd known, and she'd been too sick to tell me. Or maybe she'd been waiting, gathering proof, making sure I had everything I needed to survive this. The leather envelope smelled like her hand lotion, lavender and thyme. I took out my phone, started scanning the documents, every receipt, every photo, every page of her timeline, the handwriting progressively shakier, like watching her die in reverse. Strong to weak, determined to desperate. She'd done this while dying. For me. I put everything back in the envelope, tucked it under my arm, walked back to the dining room. The table was empty now, just Rebecca and Marcus. The others had gone. Probably upstairs, probably talking about us in shocked whispers. We need to talk, Rebecca said. She'd sat back down, trying to take control of the narrative. This is happening whether you like it or not. I'm keeping the baby. Marcus and I... Noted. I set the envelope on the table. Didn't open it. Just let them see it. The red writing. We'll talk later. Marcus stared at the envelope. What's that? Christmas present from Mom. I smiled. It felt wrong on my face, like wearing someone else's skin. She's very thoughtful, even now. I went upstairs, to my room, the room I'd shared with Rebecca for 7 years, her perfume still on the pillows, her things still in the closet. I packed a bag, clothes, toiletries, my mother's envelope, her wedding ring on the chain around my neck. Rebecca appeared in the doorway. Where are you going? The guest room. Daniel, please. For the baby's safety, I said, using her words, the ones she'd use tomorrow, next week, forever. You should rest. Stress isn't good for the pregnancy. You're being cruel. Was I? Maybe. Probably. I didn't care. Noted, I said. 3 days later, my mother died. December 27th, 4:23 a.m., the hospice nurse, Anna, called me. I was in the guest room. I'd been sleeping in 90-minute increments, lawyer mode, survivor mode, nothing mode. I went to her room. She was already gone. Peaceful. That's what everyone says. She looks peaceful, but she just looked dead. Her journal was on the nightstand. The last entry was dated December 26th, yesterday. Danny, be smart, be patient, wait for the baby, protect the innocent. I love you. Mom. Anna gave me the death certificate. Cause pancreatic cancer. Duration 11 months. Underneath her bed, I found a box labeled For Daniel, Legacy. Inside, her medical records, copies she'd requested from her oncologist, her will, a letter to her lawyer, and another envelope, sealed, addressed to Patricia Henley. Patricia, Mom's best friend, the one she'd mentioned in her timeline. Rebecca moved into the guest room, said it was for the baby's safety. Really, she couldn't stand to look at me. Good, the feeling was mutual. Marcus offered to help with funeral arrangements. Family should support family, he said again, that phrase, like a mantra, like saying it enough times would make it true. I looked at him, my brother, 38 years old, 2 years younger than me. We'd grown up together, shared a room until I was 16, played basketball in the driveway. He'd been my best man. Family, I repeated. Right. Noted. The funeral was on December 30th. 87 people showed up. Mom had been loved, active in church, volunteer coordinator at the food bank. Everyone had a story. Rebecca wore black, appropriate, stood next to me, played the grieving daughter-in-law, one hand on her small bump, visible now, 17 weeks, due in May. Marcus gave a eulogy, talked about Helen's kindness, her generosity, her love of family. I sat in the front pew, the ring around my neck, heavy, warm, my turn to speak. I walked to the podium, looked out at the crowd, all these people who'd loved her. I opened my notes, the eulogy I'd written. Then I saw Patricia, 4th row, left side. She was watching me, intent, waiting. Helen Morris believed in truth, I said. She believed in justice. She believed that love was action, not words. She believed that family meant loyalty. I paused, let that sink in. She also believed in documentation, in evidence, in making sure the people she loved were protected. Patricia's eyes widened slightly. She understood. My mother taught me that silence isn't weakness, that patience isn't surrender, that sometimes the strongest thing you can do is wait. Rebecca shifted in her seat, uncomfortable. She taught me that family isn't who you're born to, it's who fights for you. I looked directly at Marcus. Not who fights with you, for you. The service ended. People filed past. Condolences, sympathy, casseroles pressed into my hands. Patricia hugged me, tight, whispered in my ear, Your mother called me on the 18th. I have the recording. I pulled back, looked at her. She nodded. Once, I said one word back. Patricia's house smelled like cinnamon, tea, and old books. She led me to her kitchen, poured coffee I didn't want, set her phone on the table between us. She called me 3 times, Patricia said. The first two, she just talked about you, about Rebecca, about Marcus. She was processing. The third time, she tapped the screen. The third time, she had instructions. When? December 18th, 6 days before she told you. 6 days. She'd known for 8 months, waited 6 days before the end to set this in motion. Patricia pressed play. Helen's voice filled the kitchen, thin, breathy, but unmistakably her. Patricia, it's me. I don't have much time. Listen carefully. Static, the sound of oxygen equipment in the background. Danny doesn't know yet. I'm telling him on Christmas Eve, but I need you to have this recording in case I don't make it long enough to see it through. A pause, breathing, labored. Rebecca is pregnant. 8 months of affair with Marcus. The baby isn't Daniel's. The timing doesn't work. But Patricia, another pause, longer. There's more. My hands were cold. I saw her at the clinic, the Women's Health Center on Oak Street, October 15th. She was there for 3 hours. When she came out, she was with someone, not Marcus, someone else, a man I didn't recognize. My coffee went untouched, cold. I couldn't follow. I was too weak that day. But Patricia, listen, the baby might not be Marcus's either. You need to make Danny get the DNA test, not just paternity, full panel, 3-way, him, Marcus, and the baby. The recording crackled. Helen's breathing got worse. Tell Danny he deserves someone who chooses him every day. Tell him I chose him every day. And Patricia, you choose him too, okay? He's going to need people who choose him. Silence. Then, one more thing, my medical records. I filed copies with my lawyer, David Chen on Maple Street. He has the second envelope. Danny needs to see him within 30 days of my death. The estate can't be settled without it. Make sure he goes. The recording ended. I sat there, Patricia's kitchen, Helen's voice still echoing. There's someone else? My voice sounded foreign. Maybe. She thought so. Patricia refilled my coffee. I still didn't drink it. Your mother was thorough, Danny. If she thought there was a third person, there probably was. Why didn't she tell me before? She wanted to be sure about the baby, about everything. Patricia's hand covered mine, old skin, warm. She loved you so much. You know that, right? I knew. God, I knew. David Chen, I said. You have his number? She was already writing it down. I called from the car. David Chen, attorney at law, specializing in family law and estate planning. His secretary scheduled me for January 3rd, 3 days away. If your parent ever protected you from a truth that would destroy you, you understand what it means to grieve someone while they're still saving you. I went home. Rebecca was on the couch, laptop open, probably Googling pregnancy symptoms, or texting Marcus, or planning her new life, our new life, the one where I didn't exist except as the fool who signed checks. How was Patricia's? She asked, not looking up. Good. What did you talk about? Mom. She nodded, satisfied, went back to her laptop. I went to the guest room, my room now, started a new document on my phone, timeline, evidence tracker, everything Helen had given me, everything Patricia had said, cross-referenced, dated, time-stamped. March 12th, first confirmed affair sighting. October 15th, Rebecca at women's clinic with unknown third party. November 2nd, positive pregnancy test. December 24th, public announcement. December 27th, Helen dies. December 30th, funeral. Patricia provides recording. I needed more. Needed concrete evidence, photos, records, something that would hold up. My doorbell camera, I'd installed it in September. Security, safety. Now it was documentation. I pulled up the footage, scrolled back. Months of video, delivery drivers, neighbors, and Marcus. So much Marcus. Tuesday afternoons, when I was at work, he'd arrive at 1:15 p.m., leave at 4:30 p.m., 3 hours and 15 minutes every Tuesday. For 23 weeks, I downloaded every clip, burned them to a drive, added them to the evidence folder, Rebecca's credit card statements. I had access to the joint account. She'd been careful, mostly. But there were charges. The boutique hotel downtown, $347, and the fancy restaurant, $183. Cash withdrawals, $500, $800, $1,200,000. I screenshotted everything, printed hard copies, filed them chronologically. My mother's voice in my head, documentation, evidence, protection. David Chen's office was small, efficient, law books lining the walls, diplomas from Yale, family photos on his desk, wife, 2 kids, golden retriever. Mr. Morris. He shook my hand, firm, professional. I'm very sorry for your loss. Your mother was a remarkable woman. Thank you. She came to see me in November, brought quite a collection of materials. He pulled out a file, thick, labeled Morris, Helen, Confidential Estate Matters. He opened it. She wanted to ensure you had legal representation when the time came. She retained me on your behalf, paid for 50 hours of consultation in advance. He slid a document across. This is our client agreement. It's already executed. You just need to acknowledge it. I signed. Good, now. He pulled out another envelope, Helen's handwriting on the front. She left specific instructions. I'm to give you this first. Read it, then we'll discuss strategy. The envelope was sealed. I opened it. Helen's letter. Danny, if you're reading this, I'm gone. I'm sorry. I wanted to stay, to help you fight. But my body had other plans. David Chen is a good man. Trust him. Give him everything I gave you. He'll know what to do. The baby. Danny, listen. The baby is innocent. No matter whose child it is, that baby didn't choose this. Don't punish an innocent. But don't claim what isn't yours either. Wait for the birth. Get the DNA test. Court-ordered, full panel. You, Marcus, and the child. Don't let them pressure you to sign the birth certificate. Don't acknowledge paternity. Protect yourself legally. If the baby is Marcus's, walk away clean. No child support, no custody, no ties. If it's neither of yours, I don't know what to tell you, except that truth is better than lies. I love you. I'm proud of you. You're going to survive this, and you're going to find someone who chooses you the way I chose you, every single day. Love, Mom, P.S. The money in my estate is yours, not Rebecca's. I made sure of that. Use it for legal fees, for starting over, for whatever you need. Don't feel guilty. I wanted you to have it. I folded the letter, carefully, put it back in the envelope. She was very specific, David said quietly, about the strategy, the timeline, the protections you'd need. Tell me. We talked for 2 hours. He took notes. I gave him copies of everything, the hotel receipts, the doorbell footage, the credit card statements, Patricia's recording, Helen's timeline. This is substantial, David said. More than substantial. This is airtight. What do I do? You wait. He leaned back, steepled his fingers. I know that's not what you want to hear, but your mother was right. Wait for the birth. Get the paternity test. Court ordered, so it's admissible. Then we file. File for what? Divorce, grounds, adultery, asset protection. You keep the house. It was yours before marriage. You keep your mother's estate. Rebecca forfeits alimony. Adultery is grounds in this state. Marcus, he smiled, thin, sharp. Marcus pays child support if he's the father. And if he's not, then we have a different problem, but one step at a time. I left his office with a plan, a timeline, a strategy. 9 weeks until the baby was due. 9 weeks of pretending, of living in the same house as ghosts wearing familiar faces. I became very good at pretending. Rebecca asked if I was excited to be a father. Week 25. Her belly was obvious now. She'd posted ultrasound photos on social media, tagged me. Blessed family was baby Morris. I smiled. We'll see. What does that mean? It means we'll see. She didn't push. She knew. On some level, she had to know. Marcus stopped coming on Tuesdays. Too obvious now. But he texted. I saw her phone light up, saw his name over and over. I documented it all. Week 28. Rebecca asked me to go to a birthing class with her. Couples need to prepare together, she said. I don't think that's necessary. Daniel, please, for the baby. The baby, I repeated. Right. I didn't go. She went with Marcus. Someone posted a photo to the hospital's community board. Expecting couples week 3. There they were, Rebecca and Marcus, sitting together, holding a plastic doll, smiling. I saved the photo, added it to the file, week 32. The ultrasound photo incident, she left it on the counter. The 32-week scan, baby's face in profile, tiny hands. The caption from the technician, healthy boy, due May 12th. May 12th. I counted backward. Conception, August 5th, plus or minus a week, August 5th. I'd been at a work conference in Boston, 3 days, August 4th through 6th. I'd sent Rebecca photos, the harbor, the hotel, dinner with colleagues. She'd texted back heart emojis, and she'd been with Marcus. Are you excited? Rebecca asked, catching me looking at the ultrasound. I smiled, picked up my phone, photographed the ultrasound with the date visible. Noted, I said. She grabbed the photo, threw it at me. The paper fluttered, landed at my feet. What is wrong with you? Her voice cracked. This is your son, our son, and you're acting like what? Like you don't care. I bent down, picked up the ultrasound, smoothed it out, studied it. He has your nose, I said finally. She stared at me. Or maybe Marcus's. Hard to tell from this angle. Her face went white. I put the ultrasound back on the counter, walked away. 3 weeks later, my phone rang. 11:47 p.m. Rebecca's name on the screen. Hospital, she gasped. Contractions 5 minutes apart. I drove, silent. She clutched the door handle, breathed through contractions, didn't look at me. Marcus was already at the hospital, in the waiting room, pacing. I called him, Rebecca said, defiant. He deserves to be here. Noted. 15 hours later, a baby was born, 7 pounds, 3 ounces, healthy, screaming. The nurse brought him to Rebecca, wrapped in hospital blankets, pink face, black hair, tiny. Do you want to hold him? The nurse asked me. Rebecca tensed, waiting. I looked at the baby, at Rebecca, at Marcus in the corner, pretending he wasn't desperate to touch his son. Let's wait for the DNA results, I said. The room went silent. I'm sorry? The nurse looked confused. DNA test, paternity. I'm not signing the birth certificate until we have results. Rebecca started crying. You can't do this. I can, and I am. I pulled out my phone, showed the nurse the pre-ordered paternity test kit, ordered online, shipped to the hospital. It's legal, it's my right, and it's happening. Would you choose truth or false peace? The nurse left, came back with a supervisor, then a patient advocate, then hospital legal. I didn't budge. Court order if necessary, I said calmly, but I'm not signing anything without proof. They took samples, me, baby. Rebecca signed consent for Marcus. 3 swabs, 3 sealed bags, expedited processing, 7 to 10 business days. I went home, alone. Rebecca stayed at the hospital. Her mother came, her father. They whispered in the halls, shot me looks. I didn't care. Marcus tried to talk to me in the parking lot. Daniel, this is insane. You're making a scene. Am I? Or am I protecting myself from fraud? Fraud, is he? I stopped, turned, faced him. Is he really? Because from where I'm standing, he's yours. And you've known for 9 months. You stood at Christmas dinner and carved the turkey while your girlfriend announced she was pregnant with your baby, while our mother was dying. So tell me, Marcus, tell me about family. He had nothing to say. I drove away. 2 weeks later, May 26th, I had the papers drawn up. Divorce petition, 68 pages, evidence appendix, hotel receipts, doorbell footage, credit card statements, ultrasound dates cross-referenced with my work travel, timeline of affair, Patricia's recording transcribed and notarized. David Chen was thorough. "You sure you want to do this now?" he asked, and the baby is 2 weeks old. "I'm sure. It's going to be ugly." "It already is ugly. I'm just making it official." He filed on May 27th. Process server showed up at Rebecca's parents' house on May 28th. She was there, staying with the baby. Marcus was there too. Papers served, both of them. Divorce petition for Rebecca, paternity suit for Marcus, financial forensics subpoena for both. I got the call at work, Rebecca screaming into the phone, "You can't do this. He's your son." "Actually," I said calmly, "we'll let science decide." I hung up, opened my desk drawer, Helen's envelope, the one I'd carried to every meeting, every consultation, every sleepless night. I dumped the contents on my desk, receipts scattered, photos spread out. Her handwriting stared up at me. Love is action. I took a photo, posted it to my locked social media. Caption, "Truth over comfort, always." Within an hour, 37 people had messaged me. Friends, family, colleagues who'd seen Rebecca's pregnancy posts, who'd congratulated me. I responded to 3, Patricia, David, my cousin Jenny. Everyone else could wait. Marcus showed up at my house that night, pounding on the door. "Open up! We need to talk!" I opened the doorbell camera app, watched him on my phone, recorded, documented. "Go away, Marcus." "I'm your brother." "You were, past tense." Family doesn't sleep with their brother's wife." I cut him off through the speaker. Family doesn't lie for 9 months. Family doesn't carve turkey while destroying lives. You want to talk about family? Read Mom's timeline. She documented everything. 8 months of you betraying me while she was dying. Silence. "She knew?" His voice was small, broken. "She knew, and she chose me, not you, me." I turned off the speaker, watched him stand there, shoulders shaking, maybe crying, maybe just cold. I didn't open the door. After 20 minutes, he left. The DNA results arrived June 4th, certified mail, signed receipt. I sat in David's office, envelope unopened on the desk between us. "Whatever it says," David said quietly, "we have a plan." I nodded. My hands were steady. Helen's ring around my neck, heavy, grounding. I opened the envelope. 3 pages. Page 1. DNA paternity test results. Confidential. Alleged father, Daniel Morris. Mother, Rebecca Morris. Child, baby boy Doe. Birth certificate pending. Probability of paternity at 0.0%. The numbers were clean, clinical, absolute. Not my son. Page 2. Alleged father, Marcus Collins. Probability of paternity 90%. Marcus's son. I should have felt vindicated, relieved, something. I felt empty. David was quiet, letting me process. I turned to page 3. Additional testing requested by Helen Morris, deceased. Sibship analysis. My hands went cold. Subjects, Daniel Morris, Marcus Collins. Relationship analysis, half siblings. Probability, 99.93%. Paternal line, non-shared. Marcus Collins shares no paternal DNA with Daniel Morris. I read it twice, 3 times. What does this mean? But I knew. God help me, I knew. David's voice was careful. Your mother had herself, you and Marcus tested last year. She requested sibship analysis. Marcus is your half-brother. You share a mother, but not a father. Dad isn't Marcus's biological father. No, your mother never told anyone except her lawyer, me, and now you. The room spun. My whole life. Marcus was always the favorite. Dad's favorite. The golden child, the athlete, the charmer. Because Dad knew or didn't know or suspected. I didn't know which was worse. Did she say why? No, just that she wanted you to have the information. When you were ready. David paused. She protected a lot of secrets, Daniel. This was just one more. I stared at the papers. 3 lives, 3 truths, all reduced to percentages and probabilities. Not my son, Marcus's son, not my father's son. What do I do with this? I asked. Whatever you want. It's your information. You can tell Marcus or not. You can tell no one. It's not relevant to the divorce or the paternity case. But it was relevant to everything, to 38 years of wondering why I was never enough, why Marcus was always better, always chosen, because he wasn't my father's son either. And maybe Dad had known. Maybe that's why he'd left Marcus out of his will, why he'd been cold to him at the end. Or maybe not. Maybe I was just spinning stories to make sense of senseless things. Keep it confidential, I said finally, for now. David nodded, filed the report in a locked drawer. The paternity results, the ones that matter for the case, do we share those? We filed them with the court. Amended birth certificate, baby's last name changes to Collins. Marcus is legally the father. He pays child support. How much? Based on his income, probably $2,800 a month, plus half of medical expenses, backdated to birth. I did the math. $1,800 times 18 years plus extras, $388,800 minimum. File it, I said. We filed. The court date was set for July 15th, 6 weeks to prepare, 6 weeks of silence from Rebecca's side. Then the counterpetition arrived. She wanted everything, the house, half my inheritance from Helen, spousal support, Marcus listed as father, but she wanted me to pay child support anyway, for emotional damages, for leading her on. David read the petition aloud in his office, each demand more absurd than the last. She's desperate, he said, throwing everything at the wall. Will any of it stick? Not a chance. He tapped the evidence folders, 3 of them now, labeled, indexed, cross-referenced. We have 8 months of documented adultery, your mother's timeline, Patricia's recording, financial forensics showing $14,000 in unexplained spending from the joint account, all traced to dates matching Marcus's visits, doorbell camera footage, DNA proof, and he pulled out one more document, her OB/GYN records. I sat up. How did you, subpoenaed, due date calculated from her first appointment, May 12th, plus or minus 5 days. Conception window, August 3rd to August 10th. You were in Boston August 4th through 6th. Hotel receipts, conference badge, dinner with colleagues, 20 witnesses. So she lied about the conception date, tried to make it plausible that you were the father, but the math doesn't work, and the DNA doesn't lie. The morning of the hearing, I put on my father's suit, the one Helen had saved, dry cleaned, preserved. I touched the ring around my neck, still there, always there. Patricia texted, "Proud of you. Helen would be too." I drove to the courthouse, walked through security, metal detector, bag check, normal people with normal problems, divorce, custody, traffic violations, and me, with evidence of an 8-month affair documented by my dying mother. Courtroom 3B, Judge Margaret Reeves presiding, 63 years old, appointed judge, reputation for no-nonsense rulings. David had done his research. Rebecca was already seated. Her lawyer, Kenneth Bradley, expensive suit, slicked back hair, whispered urgently in her ear. Marcus sat behind her, moral support or guilt. Hard to tell. All rise. Judge Reeves entered, black robes, reading glasses. She looked at the file, 3 inches thick, and sighed. Morris versus Morris, dissolution of marriage, contested. She glanced up. Mr. Chen, I've reviewed your filings, quite thorough. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Bradley, I've also reviewed your counterpetition. Her tone changed. Cooler. Would you like to amend any of your requests before we begin? Bradley stood. No, Your Honor, we stand by. You're asking for spousal support despite documented evidence of an 8-month extramarital affair? Your Honor, my client's emotional state is not grounds for alimony in this state when adultery is proven. Sit down, Mr. Bradley. He sat. Judge Reeves opened the evidence folder, started reading. The courtroom was silent except for pages turning. She read for 12 minutes, straight through, hotel receipts, timeline, Patricia's transcript, DNA results. Finally, she looked up. Mrs. Morris, did you engage in a sexual relationship with Marcus Collins from March through November of last year? Rebecca's voice was small. Yes, Your Honor. And you announced your pregnancy, fathered by Mr. Collins, to your husband at a family dinner on Christmas Eve? Yes. While your terminally ill mother-in-law was present and able to hear. Silence. Mrs. Morris, I asked you a question. Yes, Your Honor. Judge Reeves removed her glasses, pinched the bridge of her nose. In 30 years on the bench, I have seen a lot of things, but this... She shook her head. Mr. Morris, do you have a statement for the court? David nodded to me. I stood, my hands were steady. Helen's voice in my head. Be calm, be clear, let the evidence speak. Your Honor, my mother died believing family meant loyalty, that love was action, not words. Rebecca and Marcus taught me something different. They taught me that family is a choice, and I choose not to be bound to people who betray trust, who lie, who manipulate. I paused, breathed. I'm not asking for revenge. I'm asking for truth. The baby, he's Marcus's son, not mine. The DNA proves it. I'm asking to be released from a marriage built on lies, to keep the assets I earned and inherited, and to be left alone to rebuild. I sat down. Judge Reeves made notes, then looked at Bradley. Mr. Bradley, does your client wish to contest the DNA results? No, Your Honor. Does she contest the evidence of adultery? No, Your Honor. Then here's my ruling. She pulled out a form, started writing. Divorce granted, grounds, adultery. Mr. Morris retains full ownership of the marital home, which I see was his sole property prior to marriage. He retains all inheritance from Helen Morris's estate. Mrs. Morris forfeits any claim to spousal support under state adultery statutes. Rebecca started crying, quiet, defeated. Birth certificate to be amended. Baby boy Doe's legal name to be Baby Boy Collins. Marcus Collins listed as biological father. Mr. Morris removed from all documentation. Mr. Collins. She looked at Marcus. You're ordered to pay child support. Amount to be calculated by the family courtmaster. Estimated onto $800 per month based on income records. Backdated to date of birth. Do you understand? Marcus stood. Yes, Your Honor. Medical expenses split 50-50 between you and Mrs. Morris. Education expenses to be determined. And Mr. Collins, you should have been honest from the start. Would have saved everyone a lot of pain. Yes, Your Honor. One more thing? Judge Reeves looked at me. Mr. Morris, are you requesting a restraining order? David leaned over, whispered, Do you want one? Did I want to legally prohibit them from coming near me, from contacting me? I thought about Tuesday afternoons, about Christmas dinner, about my mother documenting betrayal while dying. Yes, Your Honor. Granted, Mrs. Morris and Mr. Collins are prohibited from entering Mr. Morris's property, from contacting him directly, from posting about him on social media. Violation will result in contempt charges. Duration, 2 years, renewable. She signed the order, stamped it, handed it to the clerk. We're adjourned. The gavel fell. It was over. Outside the courthouse, David shook my hand. That was as clean as it gets. Judge Reeves doesn't usually rule from the bench like that. She was pissed. What happens now? They have 30 days to appeal. They won't. They have no grounds. After that, it's final. You're free. Free. The word felt strange, heavy, and light at the same time. I drove home. My house, legally mine. Only mine. I walked through the rooms. Bedroom, kitchen, Helen's office, the desk where I'd found the envelope, the chair where she'd sat, documenting evidence while dying. I sat in her chair, opened the top drawer. Empty now. Evidence filed. Case closed. But her journal was still on the shelf. I pulled it down, Open to a random page. May 3rd last year. Saw them again today. Danny works so hard, he deserves better. June 18th. Called Patricia. Told her everything. She cried. So did I. September 9th. Getting weaker, but still watching, still documenting. Love is action. December 23rd. Tomorrow, I tell him, God give me strength. I closed the journal, pressed it to my chest. I won, Mom, I whispered to the empty room. We won. The weeks after were quiet. I changed the locks, repainted the bedroom, got rid of Rebecca's things, donated to Goodwill, most of it, threw away the rest. Marcus tried to reach out, letters, 17 of them. They arrived every few days, handwritten, thick, probably apologies, probably explanations. I returned them unopened, wrote return to sender on each one, watched the mail carrier take them back. After the 17th, they stopped coming. Rebecca sent one email, 2 months post-divorce. Subject, please. I deleted it without opening it, blocked her address. I started therapy. Dr. Sarah Kim, Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Same time Marcus used to visit, reclaiming the time, rewriting the pattern. How are you doing? She asked in our first session. I don't know. I said honestly, I won. The divorce, the house, everything, but I don't feel like I won. What do you feel? Empty. She nodded, wrote something down. That's normal. You lost a marriage, a brother, a future you'd planned. Winning in court doesn't erase that grief. So what do I do? You grieve, you heal, you build something new. Something new. I started small, joined a support group, divorced parents, even though I'd never been a parent. The facilitator said it didn't matter. You lost the idea of being a parent. That counts. The group met Thursday nights. 8 people, all with stories, all with scars. Week 3, a single dad brought his kid, 6 years old, shy, drew pictures while we talked. At the end, he walked up to me, handed me a drawing, stick figures, crayon on construction paper, labels in careful child handwriting. My mom, my dad, and off to the side, Mr. Daniel, safe grown up. The kid had drawn me into their family constellation, with a smile, a big crayon smile. Thank you, I managed. My voice cracked. The kid nodded, serious. You're sad, but you're nice sad. Not mean sad. Nice sad, not mean sad. I taped the drawing to my refrigerator, left it there, a reminder that healing looks like something. Patricia called every Sunday. Just checking in, she'd say. But really, she was making sure I was okay, making sure I was eating, sleeping, living. Helen asked me to look after you, she said once. I'm not going to break that promise. You don't have to. I want to. Your family, Danny. Family. That word again, redefined, reclaimed. Summer turned to fall. The leaves changed. I raked the yard, Helen's yard, my yard, planted bulbs for spring, tulips, her favorite. October, I sold my father's car, the one Marcus had always wanted, donated the money to the hospice that had cared for Helen in her name. November, a year since the affair started. I didn't mark the day, didn't even realize until it had passed. Progress. Thanksgiving approached. I'd spent the last one in a war zone. Rebecca and Marcus at the table, lies and performances, Helen's empty chair. This year, I didn't want to be alone. I called Patricia. Are you doing anything for Thanksgiving? Just me and some leftovers. Why? Come here, let me cook. Silence, then, Danny, you don't have to. I want to, please. She agreed. I planned the menu. Turkey, small one, just for 2. Mashed potatoes, green beans, pie. Patricia offered to bring the pie. I said yes. The morning of Thanksgiving, I set the table. 8 places instead of 12, simpler, smaller, but the good china, Helen's grandmother's, the plates with the gold rim. And at the head of the table, Helen's place, empty, napkin folded, her favorite plate. No food, just presents. Patricia arrived at 2 p.m., carrying pie, apple, Helen's recipe. She saw the table, saw the empty chair, the plate. She didn't ask, just walked over, touched the chair's back, fingers gentle on the wood. "She's so proud of you," Patricia said softly. I believed her. We ate, talked, about Helen, about the past year, about everything and nothing. "You seem better," Patricia said over pie. "Lighter." "I am, slowly." Helen would be glad. "I think about her every day, what she did, the evidence, the protection. She loved you fiercely. I know." I touched the ring around my neck, still there, always there. "I'm wearing her ring, still." Patricia smiled. She'd like that. We cleaned up together. I washed, she dried, normal, comfortable, easy. At the door, she hugged me. "Same time next year?" "Same time next year." She left. I stood in the doorway, watched her car disappear down the street. The house was quiet, but not empty, not lonely. I went back inside, looked at the table, Helen's empty chair, the napkin still folded. I didn't clear her place, left it there, let it stay. December arrived. A year since the announcement, since Christmas Eve, since everything shattered. I didn't dread it this time. Didn't count down the days with anxiety. I bought a small tree, decorated it simply. Lights, no ornaments, just lights. Put Helen's photo on the mantle, her journal next to it. The envelope, empty now, evidence used, framed with her last note inside. Love is action. Christmas Eve, 1 year later. I made dinner, just for me, nothing fancy, pasta, salad, wine. I sat at the table, one place setting. Helen's chair still empty across from me. I raised my glass. "To you, Mom, thank you." The doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. Checked the doorbell camera. Old habit. Documentation reflexes die hard. Patricia, standing on my porch, smiling, holding something. I opened the door. "I know you said you were fine alone," she said, "but Helen would have wanted you to have people here, so here I am, with pie." She held it up, and I'm not taking no for an answer. I looked at her, this woman who'd been my mother's best friend, who'd kept recordings, who'd called every Sunday, who'd chosen me, not blood, not obligation, just choice. I stepped back, opened the door wider. "Noted," I said, the word that had meant so many things, cold acknowledgement, weapon, shield. "Come in." The smile that came with it was real, warm, the first truly warm thing I'd said all year. Patricia stepped inside, set the pie on the counter, looked around. "It feels different in here," she said. "Peaceful." It is. We sat, ate pie, talked about nothing important, everything important. "You did it," Patricia said eventually. "You survived. We did it, you, me, Mom." She'd be proud. I hope so. Later, after Patricia left, I sat in Helen's office, her chair, her desk, her journal open in front of me. I picked up a pen, started writing. December 24th, 1 year later. Mom, I did it. I survived. The divorce is final. The house is mine. Marcus pays $1,840 a month in child support. Rebecca lives with her parents. I don't see them. Don't talk to them. Don't think about them, mostly. Patricia came over tonight with pie, your recipe. It tasted like home. I'm learning what family means. Not who you're born to, who chooses you, who stays. You stayed. Even after you were gone, your evidence, your voice, your love. That was action. I understand now. I miss you every day, but I'm okay. Really okay. You can rest now, Mom. I've got this. Love, Danny. I closed the journal, put it back on the shelf, next to her photo, next to the framed note. The ring around my neck caught the light. Gold, worn, engraved. Always. Same word, different life. Helen would have liked that. Outside, snow started falling. Light, gentle, covering everything in white, clean, new. I turned off the lights, except for the tree, let it glow in the darkness. Tomorrow I'd wake up, go to therapy, maybe call the support group dad, see how his kid was doing, build something new, not from wreckage, from choice. The house settled, creaked, Comfortable sounds, home sounds. I touched the ring one more time, whispered to the empty room, "Thank you." And somewhere, maybe nowhere, maybe everywhere, I felt her answer, not in words, in the warmth of the house, in Patricia's pie on the counter, in the drawing on my fridge, in the journal on the shelf, in everything that mattered. Love is action. I finally understood. What does family mean to you? Not who you're related to, who chose you, who stayed, who brought pie on Christmas Eve because they knew you shouldn't be alone. Share your found family story. The people who chose you when blood failed, when vows broke, when everything fell apart. Helen taught me family isn't who you're born to. It's who shows up, who fights for you, who documents your betrayals while dying, not to hurt you, but to protect you, who calls every Sunday, who brings pie, who says, "Come in," and means it. That's family. The snow kept falling. The tree kept glowing. The house kept standing. And I kept healing. One day at a time, one choice at a time, one noted at a time, until the word meant welcome instead of walls. Same word, different life. Helen would have liked that.